Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Perfect World based on novel. So let's start. In the end, the electrical arcs disappeared, allowing absolute darkness to once again devour this place. Xiahou turned around, entering the dark world, and vanishing from this prairie. It was because he knew that if he didn't leave now, he would be in danger. Two great heavenly deities entered the depths of the prairie. Even though they were still quite far, they would still eventually receive news. The prairie would inevitably be thrown into great disorder. Celestial Clan's #1 divine mine was destroyed. This was definitely no small matter. It would greatly tarnish the Emperor Clan's reputation. Sure enough, soon after, this place erupted into an uproar. However, none of this had anything to do with Xiahou. He already withdrew from the grassland. The dark clouds scattered, the dewdrops hanging from blades of grass flickering with seven-colored splendor under the sunlight. The great rain stopped. Within Fufeng City, a place where the borders of 3 provinces intersected, people of all trades moved in and out. There were individuals from all different clans, making this an extremely flourishing and bustling place. This was definitely a place where information circulated. Regardless of whether it was Fire Province's Prairie, Goddess Province, or Kuan Province, whenever there was any activity, it would immediately reach this place. Shocking news. During the great downpour just now, Huang took action again. He is the incarnation of the death god, reaping the heads of Celestial Clan's experts. He unleashed a bloodbath, destroying half of the Celestial Clan's divine mines. Along with the disappearance of the dark clouds, the world became sunny and cloudless. The grassland's battle situation was revealed to the rest of the world, leaving everyone stunned. Huang was too tyrannical, his actions decisive and forceful. Celestial Clan's #1 divine mine was also destroyed, and 3 true deities were slaughtered, their bodies and souls wiped out. When these news went out, all of Fufeng City was thrown into disorder. This was much more shocking than any of the news they received before. The crowd was completely alarmed, all of them stupefied. Huang killed true deities. Did I hear correctly? Moreover, 3 of them. This type of news made others feel as if it wasn't realistic, almost a bit absurd. It was because this type of battle accomplishments exceeded normal reasoning. How did Huang accomplish this? It is completely true. Celestial Clan is currently in chaos. All of the true deities of that mining region have gathered, and their killing intent is rushing into the heavens. They are threatening to burn Huang to ashes. Huang, becoming famous through a single battle. Not only did his name shake the regions surrounding 5 Elements province, it even shocked the tens of provinces here. It is impossible for him to avoid attention even if he wanted to. Celestial Clan really is in a difficult situation now, being treated as a joke by many great sects. They've provoked a terrifying young devil king. His potential is great, and in the future, he might very well turn into their clan's nightmare. That day, violent developments were taking place. All sides were shaken. Many people began to analyze and discuss these news, believing Huang to be formidable. This time, the Celestial Clan truly acted too passively. Many great sects were paying close attention to this place became chaotic. Celestial Clan had towered for so many tens of thousands of years. They had their own glorious backing, but they had many enemies as well. At this time, they naturally didn't forget to throw stones at Celestial Clan while they were down, carrying out ridicule. Celestial Clan really has declined, suffering such a crushing defeat at the hands of a youth. There were 3 true deities alone that died, while the other party is just a supreme expert. This sect has already declined. Right, where is Huang? You can seek refuge from my sect. We will assist you and help you with your growth. We support you in your eradication of the Celestials. Half of the clan's divine mines were destroyed, and the casualty count of their experts was severe. Everything was done by Huang, and he even admitted that the immortal seed was stolen by him. How could the 2 great heavenly deities endure this? Everything they did looked like blunders. They didn't make Xiahou submit and give in, instead suffering this type of humiliation. Do the 2 great ones still wish to examine? Within this mining region, there were experts within those great clans as well. There were a few who asked in an indifferent tone. Even though Fire Clan didn't have any taboo figures like the old Celestial, there were still heavenly deities in the clan, and not weak to the point where they were powerless to retaliate. Now that they were bullied by others to this extent, they naturally wouldn't act politely. One of Celestial Clan's heavenly deities truly felt embarrassed. With a fling of his sleeves, he turned around to leave. All right, all of you Dao friends can leave as well, no need to stand around. Celestial Clan's two great figures were wrong. Someone spoke. There were quite a few inheritances that occupied great divine minds in this region, and many people came to observe what was happening. When they heard these words, they all laughed. What is Celestial Clan trying to do? Baselessly and wrongly accusing others. They've lost the imposing attitude an Emperor Clan should have. Shush, lower your voice, or else the two great heavenly deities might go to your mining region's doors to bully your clan. When that time comes, you won't be able to cry even if you want to. Everyone was ridiculing the Celestial Clan. There were quite a few inheritances that didn't fear them, purposely mocking them. Celestial Clan's two heavenly deities didn't want to stay here a moment later. Even though they were powerful, they still couldn't unbridledly act without restraint. If they truly dared to act randomly, they would be denounced by many sects. Their actions were already being looked down by others, and the great sects that they were hostile towards were even more so, throwing stones at them while they were down, carrying out mockery. We miscalculated. This fella was actually so bold, daring to carry out a long-range raid, unleashing a slaughter right behind us. He seems to have even become stronger. One of the heavenly deities' faces fell. On the way back, his eyes sunk. If Shahao continued to grow at this speed, he would definitely become a huge disaster. We have to eliminate him. Another person said coldly. For the younger generation, this was a king among those their age, a war god that was worth looking up to. They felt reverence, and there were even some who began to worship him. Shahao arrived. His appearance created a huge uproar. That fella from the small shoddy mountain gate came down the mountain again. Many people were stupefied. He actually came here. None of them knew that this notorious fella who threatened to beat up seniors and bully juniors was the focal point of their discussions. The true Huang. He entered the academy. Is he provoking us? A group of people were shocked. This fella really was daring. Shahao was quite calm. He wanted to look for Yu Chan. When he entered that garden region, he saw a few familiar people from the distance. Yun 11, Yu Yu, Feng Wu, and the others were all there. On the green grass next to the lake, the outstanding talents of great sects were seated on the ground, currently discussing the Tao. Meanwhile, Yu Chan was playing a jade zither, the music pleasant to listen to. It made the surrounding flora shine, the flower buds quickly grow and blossom with multicolored radiance. It also drew a few birds that began to dance about. When the musical piece finished, everyone sighed in admiration. Then, everyone began to discuss freely amongst themselves. Younger sister Yun 11 truly is beautiful and aloof. Yu Chan had a smile on her face. She then shifted the topic of discussion, saying, the Huang everyone is talking about in the outside world seems to be related to younger sister. I heard that he had escorted you for several hundreds of thousands of li, fighting the war clan with his life on the line. Is this true? There were rumors of this traveling about in the outside world, but Celestial Clan strictly denied it, berating others for creating false rumors. Everyone's expressions froze. Regardless of whether it was Divine Cliff Academy's most powerful disciple Mu Zixiao, Zhui Xiaodi, or Goddess Academy's Feng Wu, or the other great sect's outstanding talents, they all revealed looks of shock. It was because few people dared to directly ask the Celestial Clan this in front of their faces. Yun 11 sighed softly and looked towards Yu Chan. Shahao saw this scene from the distance. He decided not to walk over and turned around to leave. He didn't want to get involved. As if there was some type of emotions exchanged, Yu Chan and Yun 11 gave this direction a look, seeing his rear figure. Why are you leaving? Could it be that you are scared? At the entrance of the academy, many people saw him walk out. They revealed looks of surprise. In reality, quite a few people went to send the message, warning experts that the Supreme Being Tao Right's inheritor took the initiative to visit them. Shahao released a sneer, not minding it. He knew that his true identity would soon be exposed. When the time came, would these people still carry this type of expression? The Celestial Clan's 6 heroes have arrived. Originally, I still wanted to see them clash with this person. If he leaves like this, wouldn't we miss out on a spectacular battle? Though it won't be as exciting as Huang. The 6 heroes all arrived one after another. There were a few heroes that previously said they were going to pay that mountain a visit to demand an explanation. Shahao was surprised. After inquiring about this, he revealed a faint smile and said, is that so? I'll be waiting for them at Supreme Being Tao Right. I will wipe out whoever dares to challenge my mountain gate. After speaking, he weaved his large sleeves and then quickly left, disappearing into the distance. This place became silent. Only when there were no sign of him left did many people cry out in alarm. That small shoddy mountain gate's individual really was arrogant, actually daring to say this out loud. It was just too domineering. Celestial clans, heavenly deity Mo Luo's expression was ashen. As he looked at these ruins, a powerful aura spread outwards, crushing downwards like a mountain, making it difficult for others to even breathe, feeling as if they were suffocating. This isn't the most important point. Divine minds can still be opened. The most unendurable thing is that this was all done by Huang, a supreme expert, yet none of you lot were able to capture him, allowing him to escape. What is there that is more absurd than this? Not even true deities could stop him. Useless. Mo Luo roared. He couldn't endure it any longer. Everything that happened during these past days humiliated the celestial clan. Even a heavenly deity like him had his face covered in grime. We understand our wrongs. The group of people lowered their heads, not daring to look him in the eyes. Their bodies were trembling. Many of them kneeled under the heavenly deity's might. So what if you understand your wrongs? The other heavenly deity shouted. Can you all bring back the lost immortal seed? That is a priceless item, something that might have been able to create a celestial emperor. Meanwhile, what was the most intolerable for these two heavenly deities was that the one that did this was actually Huang, a brilliant youth that they had to kill. He actually took action in such an unbridled manner. This was an undisguised humiliation. Shahao was retaliating and getting revenge. They had personally experienced the events of the past, so they clearly understood the secrets and inner details. They had sent Shahao into the black prison, turning him into a prisoner, using the most strict and cruel methods, leaving his body with many bloody holes that went from one side of the body to the other. From the day Shahao left, there was no way for there to be any good relations between them. Did the revenge already start? Everyone knew that the Tao Protector already had one foot in the grave, his great life about to wither up, unable to fight any more great battles. Why did he decide to personally move out this time? Because of the great things you all have done. The other heavenly deity berated. If not for them losing the unmatched treasure that was surrounded with heaven and earth source energy, how could the Tao Protector have been startled, thus deciding to come out to release his final bit of power? Tao Protector Great One is going to use his final bit of life to divinate where Huang is. This is all because of you bunch stupidity. Mo Luo angrily berated, his hair dancing madly about. In that instant, the space he stood in began to distort, and streak after streak of cracks weaved about. That area of heaven and earth seemed to have become dusky. The group of people knelt down, including the true deities. It was because they knew that the Tao Protector's intention was to use the last of his life's light to deduce Huang's real location, accurately seizing his whereabouts. This meant that Tao Protector was going to leave this world. At the same time, they were shocked. The reason the Tao Protector was willing to do this was 1, because he regarded that immortal seed highly, and the 2, because he attached too much importance to that lower realm youngster. That youngster is so terrifying, worth of the Tao Protector Great One to go so far, someone said, his face revealing his inner emotions. He began to foresee grave consequences. Since the ancient times, there would be stunning youth that would rise up from each province, but many of them would die prematurely, and most of them would later disappear. They wouldn't make an emperor clan feel so nervous. However, Celestial Clan still didn't publicly announce that Huang was the lower realm Shahao, still holding this back. It was clear that they still desired his precious techniques, wishing to have them alone. This place became chaotic, entering turbulent times. Countless people moved about, blades flashed and swords flickered. Metal battle armor released chilly luster, filled with murderous energy. Shahao heard about the news, but he didn't pay them any attention. He was still standing by the mountain gate and looking downwards. My identity will most likely be revealed, right? His heart was surprisingly calm, not feeling fear, instead seeing his own road even more clearly. His eyes were resolute. He had to become strong. Once I become an emperor, who dares to humiliate me like this, daring to steal my precious techniques, imprisoning me? Shahao sighed softly. This was the boundless 3,000 provinces of the higher realms where the strong preyed on the weak. It was incredibly cruel. There were times when reasoning didn't apply. Once one rose up, every clan would hold you in reverence and many experts would pay their respects. It would be a completely different scene. Within Goddess Academy, there were a few individuals of the 6 heroes who couldn't stay calm. Apart from Yu and Yun11, the others had all hurried over later, after hearing that an immortal seed emerged and that they could comprehend the Tao through it. As such, the higher-ups of the clan allowed them to come as well. Only, who could have anticipated that this type of unusual event would take place? The grasslands were in chaos, and the clan's divine-level experts were badly burned, unable to worry about other things. I truly want to break Huang's corpse into tens of thousands of pieces. He actually dares to humiliate my clan, truly deserving death. Yulun said, clothed in white clothes with a head of purple hair, an appearance like jade. He was one of Celestial Clan's most outstanding disciples. His cultivation was high, someone who previously dared to challenge Yu and fought great battles against him. He didn't obtain the Heaven's Mandate Stone, but he was still ranked near the front of the 6 heroes, far greater than the Kuan-mo that was squeezed out. It is a pity that we are not his opponent. Even if Yu fought against him, he still might not necessarily win. Another person said. He was the last of the 6 heroes, he killed true deities, so he definitely has a secret treasure and used special methods. His true fighting prowess might not be that great. Another person deduced the truth. In reality, this was what everyone in the outside world believed, because no matter how heaven-defying a supreme expert was, there was no way they could kill a true deity by relying on their own power. Let's not talk about other matters. That small shoddy mountain's so-called great senior brother is provoking us like this. Do you feel like there is a need to let him continue living? Yulun spoke, his eyes cold. He had long received the report that the clansmen had been defeated, and the so-called 8th hero Kuan-mo even more so had his cultivation crippled. He had long wanted to pay that place a visit and cripple that person. This was especially the case when that so-called great senior brother had previously entered Goddess Academy, saying that he was going to wipe out whoever dared to challenge him. This made him feel a wave of anger. In the end, they split apart in somewhat bad terms. Yulun was proud and arrogant, feeling that if not for Yu being an exceptional talent, he might not be more powerful than himself. He felt the same way towards the other party obtaining the Heaven's Mandate Stone, attributing it all to luck. Brother Yulun, did you hear the words of that fella from the small shoddy gate? He is waiting for you all to challenge him, claiming that he'll wipe all of you out. When they saw Yulun appear, a few people spoke, calling out to him like this. Yulun was currently taking a walk. His face now fell even further. What insignificant thing is he, even daring to provoke my celestial clan? I'll conveniently wipe him out, after returning from sightseeing. Many people in the academy looked over. After learning of his identity, they all began to discuss among themselves, revealing looks of shock. Celestial clan was badly burned, humiliated by Huang. I really don't know if they can capture him. The 6 heroes still haven't paid that Dao right a visit. I thought they would take action and quickly suppress that great senior brother. I never thought that they would still not go after all this time. Could it be that they are scared? When he heard this discussion, Yulun's face became even uglier. He was extremely handsome and dressed in white clothes, so he should be confident and at ease, yet right now, killing intent instead pervaded the air. He received news again and again, and all of them were so terrible, it truly made him distraught with anxiety. Together with his intrinsic nature being proud and arrogant, he naturally found this unendurable. It was because he was the disciple of an emperor clan, one of the 6 heroes, the outstanding talent of his clan. Even without the Heaven's Mandate Stone, he still might very well become one of the clan's most powerful experts. Who knows the way? I am going to slaughter that person. Just a trifling shoddy sect, a foolish lunatic that doesn't know how high heaven is or how deep the earth is. What does he think he is? I will kill him with a single strike. Yulun coldly said. When these words sounded, it naturally drew quite the attention. Many people said that they would lead the way. If my clansmen look for me, tell them to prepare a pot of alcohol for me. I will be right back to drink after taking that lunatic's head. Also, help me tell Kuan-mo to wait for news that will help him vent some resentment. Yulun said. At the entrance of the academy, many students rose into the air. A large group of students followed behind Yulun, heading towards that shoddy Dao right. Meanwhile, when news spread, the academy became noisy. More and more people began to move about, following one of Celestial Clan's 6 heroes to see how amazing he was. The Flood Dragon Beast was a divine-spirited horse, white and impure. Silver scales opened and closed, releasing a shining and brilliant holy radiance that was like moonlight. It carried Yulun with lightning speed, traveling 3,000 li with a single burst. Mountains passed by as they headed into the distance like a streak of white light. Not good, it's too fast. We can't keep up. The people that were leading the way breathed heavily, all of them stopping. They were already fast enough, but they couldn't compare to the flood dragon beast. They were overtaken. This type of mount was extremely rare, a species that was meticulously bred. It had flood dragon blood, whose soul, and a horse body. It was exceptionally powerful and currently at the supreme expert realm. It was far more powerful than many so-called elites. Yulun pulled on the reins and looked backwards. What a great divine beast. The people behind him caught up, all of them sighing with admiration. They all revealed looks of jealousy. This mount was too extraordinary, being more powerful than quite a few of the people here. Let's go, I don't want to waste too much time. Yulun said. This region was quite primitive. The trees were ancient, and a few demonic birds were spreading their wings, covering the sky like dark clouds. There were a few vicious beasts, who were like small mountains, and they were roaring towards the sky. However, none of these creatures posed the people here any threat. They were all elites from the academy. Many of them possessed great strength, and were used to seeing these vicious creatures. We've arrived. It's right here. Someone pointed forward. The mountain region was vast. Mountains towered imposingly and majestically. This is the place. Yulun nodded. He looked at this mountain region. If it was cleaned up, it would be a spiritual earth as well. However, currently, it was too desolate. That's him. Supreme Being Tao writes Great Martial Brother. He is just a single person, yet he doesn't fear great battles. He has yet to be defeated. From the distance, many people hurried over. They all felt like they were in luck, because the great battle hadn't started yet. They finally didn't miss a great battle, looking forward to witnessing it personally. There were creatures from every clan, not only students from Goddess Academy. There were outstanding talents that came from a Bleak Moon Ancient Cave, Divine Cliff Academy, and other places. They all came to get in on the action, coming here to spectate the battle. I believe that this will likely be an evenly matched great battle. One of the Celestial Clan's 6 heroes, Yulun's name is well known. He is just too famous. As for the Great Martial Brother, he is quite unusual as well, hard to see through. Aren't you rating that Great Senior Brother a bit too highly? The Celestial Clan is known to be an emperor clan, while Yulun is one of their best, much stronger than Kun Mo. Will he even use up much energy to win? More and more people gathered below the mountains, crowding this place. There were figures everywhere. It was clear that the effects of this battle were great. After all, the Celestial Clan were previously an emperor clan, and Yulun was representing that clan to fight. Regardless of which disciple it was here, none of them wanted to miss out. You are that lunatic. Yulun raised the Heaven Art halberd alone, pointing it towards the mountain top. He wore silver battle clothes, the metallic luster shining and releasing auspicious multicolored radiance. It had to be said that he really was handsome. His head of purple hair fell down, his skin fine white like jade. His sharp eyebrows were pointing downwards, his starry eyes brilliant. His appearance really was exceptional. White robes fluttered about. He sat on top of a pure white flood dragon beast that released holy radiance, matching his appearance well. Divine and powerful, as if a white battle god descended. This type of young expert with such a handsome appearance, with the Heaven Art halberd in hand, was truly majestic and had an awe-inspiring presence. It made many of the female students' eyes release brilliance. Truly is dashing. The powerful fluctuations he releases alone are enough to prove his exceptional cultivation. Worthy of being one of an emperor clan's 6 heroes. Huang, his name has shaken the grassland and shocked this region, but I feel like Yulun is extremely handsome as well, an outstanding hero. Stop acting so starry-eyed already. There is no way he is as strong as Huang. Many people were discussing in a soft voice, especially a few young ladies, their attention seized by his heroic appearance. Hand over your life. Yulun shouted. He stirred on his mount, and while holding the Heaven Art halberd, he turned into a streak of white light before rushing up the mountain. The flood dragon beast seemed to be walking on wind. It was extremely strong, able to easily tear apart great mountains and trample ancient peaks. It could enter fire magma, or 9 underworldian earth, as if it was just walking on normal ground. The flood dragon beast didn't step on the ground, but instead treaded on the void, its hooves releasing thunderous rumbling sounds. Its speed was just too fast, quickly rushing to the mountain gate. Kill. Yulun shouted loudly. The silver battle clothes shone and the mount roared. One man, one mount, divine light overflowed into the heavens. With the Heavenart halberd in his hands, it was as if a white-robed war god had descended into this world. At this moment, everyone became shocked. The aura he released was just too powerful. It roiled outwards, making many people's hearts palpitate. They couldn't help but shudder. This was one of the Celestial clan's most outstanding youth. They were worthy of their Emperor clan reputation. It was just too powerful. Yulun's state was extremely great. At this moment, his vitality climbed to the peak, displaying his most powerful state. Bone texts interweaved around the surface of his body, blazing resplendently like pure white divine flames. Moreover, he displayed the most powerful divine abilities and precious techniques, raising his body's fighting prowess to the limit. He was going to decide life and death with a single move, not giving himself any path of retreat. This was his conviction, believing that he could kill this powerful enemy, that there was no way he would be defeated. That was why he wanted to win brilliantly, achieving victory in a brilliant fashion. He was going to cut his enemy down in one move. Shahao nodded. This person was unique after all, worthy of being known as a young outstanding talent. Under normal circumstances, they would definitely fight for a while. Only, this person was too arrogant, actually wishing to decide life and death with a single move in order to remove his head. All of his divine abilities and fighting strength merged together to display the most powerful strike. Since that is the case, I will do as you wish. Shahao calmly said, die. Yulun shouted loudly. His entire body was silvery white, as he borrowed the strength of the flood dragon beast, and the beast borrowed strength from him, becoming one. They erupted with the most shocking and terrifying fluctuations. Holy radiance overflowed into the heavens. As Yulun shouted, that great halberd already descended, lightening up the world. It was as if a divine sun was going to explode. Everyone widened their mouths, staring at the mountain top where the monastery gate was. A youth stood there while facing the wind, his golden armor shining and his head of black hair scattering about. His eyes were brilliant, the war spear in his hands nailing Yulun into the void. Yulun's eyes were opened extremely wide. Blood flowed out from his mouth. He opened his mouth, wishing to say something. He was truly unwilling to accept this. How could this be? He was one of the Emperor clan's most powerful inheritors, so how could he lose to the inheritor of a shoddy monastery? Could it be him? At this moment, he strangely became clear-headed. Just now, the other party completely ignored his bone texts and pierced through all protection, ending him with one strike. This type of methods, wasn't he Huang? Rumors had it that he possessed a moment of magical immunity. He wanted to open his mouth, wishing to say something. He also used the remaining bone texts to stir an ancient treasure, carrying out a final counterattack to change the situation before death. However, everything was too late. Shahao's arm moved. His entire body erupted with golden brilliance that rushed into the skies. The golden war spear shook, blasting Yulun into pieces, killing him on the spot. Everyone was shaken. What kind of power was this? Just a single spear, yet it killed one of the Celestial clan's most powerful inheritors. At this moment, everyone couldn't help but feel shaken, their hearts trembling. This youth was too overbearing, his golden armor brilliant and blinding. Divine might flowed out from his figure, giving him a type of world-ruling heroicness. A long roar sounded from the distance. A figure quickly closed in with killing intent. This is another one of the Celestial clan's 6 heroes. He came to rush to the rescue. Another person recognized his identity. It was clear that after this person received the news, he immediately hurried over, fearing that something unexpected would happen to Yulun. However, it was still a step too late. His killing intent surged as he hurried over. Everyone was stupefied. What kind of divine might was this? In front of the mountain gate, that youth attacked like this, unexpectedly taking the life of another powerful hero from the Celestial clan. After a moment of silence, this place erupted with noise. Countless people were shouting loudly, verbally expressing their agitation. This type of noise and loud uproar resounded through the entire mountain range. Their voices were just too loud, rushing into the clouds. It was because the battle, just now, was too shocking. In mid-air, there were still some electrical arcs that didn't scatter. Meanwhile, drops of blood splattered on the ground, extremely red and striking. It was truly a ghastly sight. Not only the scene of Yulun's death, but the power of the final spear left a deep impression in everyone's minds as well. It would be hard for them to forget this scene even after many years. A single spear shocked the sky, piercing through one of the 6 heroes, killing him in midair. A rain of blood scattered down. How shocking was this? The youth on the mountain didn't take a single step. He didn't descend from the mountain, nor did he risk his life or unleash a slaughter. The battle was ended just like this. Divine valiance. A few people were trembling, not willing to admit this, but they still couldn't help but roar outwards. Supreme Being Tao Right's inheritor was extraordinary, terrifying to the point of making others feel great reverence. The mountain region was in a great uproar. Goddess Academy's students and the disciples of other sects couldn't remain calm. They all erupted with noise. A loud and clear sound rang through the air. It was as if metal had been struck. On the mountain, a scarlet bone piece dropped. This was something left behind after Yulun split apart. It was 1/2 foot long and brilliant red. Its bone texts receded. Shahao's pupils contracted. This item made one feel anxious. He felt rather shaken up. This was not an ordinary item, heavenly deity symbol seal. In the end, he realized what this was. This was a secret treasure, definitely a terrifying killing weapon. If it displayed its true power, it would likely even put true deities in danger. Yulun was too arrogant, weaving the heaven art halberd and rushing through the sky at him, wishing to cut Shahao down in front of his mount. He didn't have the chance to even use this symbol seal. Shahao picked it up and carefully inspected it. It was bright red like jade and the size of a palm. Symbols were layered on top of each other densely, engraved within the gemstone-like scarlet bone. A mysterious aura was seeping out from it. Yulun was not simple at all, being doted on by a heavenly deity, and thus given this type of powerful symbol seal. If an ordinary person encountered this, they would definitely die while nursing grievances. At this moment, everyone became clear-headed. Even though this battle ended, the effects and consequences of it had just begun. It was currently brewing, about to create a huge storm. How could the Celestial clan be willing to accept this? They lost 2 inheritors just like that, 2 of their clan's most outstanding talents. Everyone knew that there was no way for there to be any good relations left between the 2 parties. This was especially the case with how unfavorable it was for the Celestial clan. Huang's appearance had left their head and face covered with grime. Under this type of state, they were most likely going to go mad. The former Emperor clan had so many things happen to them in succession recently. I believe that they will definitely be furious. Celestial clan is just too unlucky. Being challenged by Huang is one thing, but now this great senior brother then appeared, killing 2 of their inheritors. Everyone revealed strange expressions. The Celestial clan truly didn't have enough luck recently. Meanwhile, there were people who sighed softly. In the end, this clan was no longer an emperor clan, losing their former glory, unable to oppress the world any longer. Soon after, news spread everywhere. What? Yulun died. Depths of the Fire Province prairie. Pure white unicorns were drinking water. After the great rain, the ruins of Celestial clan's divine mines became lakes. There were fragments of divine materials mixed within that released brilliant radiance. A true deity looked at the auspicious beast in the distance and thought of something. His mind was shaken, and then he reported to heavenly deity Mo Luo, Great One, there is a heavenly deity-level unicorn on Fire Province's prairie that commands all types of wild horses and beast mounts. What are you trying to say? Mo Luo asked indifferently. Rumor has it that that heavenly deity not only produced the hooves of the heavenly horse, it even produced a spiritual jade horn that could sense many strange creatures. If Great One asks for its help, we might be able to obtain some clues. When Mo Luo heard this, he couldn't help but be stunned. He nodded and then asked, what other figures are there in this grassland that are worth paying a visit? There is also an old wolf, also a heavenly deity. It leads countless grassland wolves, enough to cover any place. If we can ask it for help, we might truly be able to find Huang. Another person said. Only, the heavenly wolf's temper was quite strange, and his nature savage as well as irritable. Normally, it wouldn't show others too much respect, and it was also hard to track down. All right, the 2 of us should separately pay them each a visit. No matter what price we have to pay, we must find that youth. We cannot tolerate him living for even a day longer. Mo Luo said coldly. Within Goddess Academy, Yu Yu was startled. His eyes became cold as he stared at his clansman. He didn't say anything for a long time. We previously tried to stop Yulan, but he didn't listen to our advice. Someone said, feeling a bit of fear, idiot, disgrace, it is one thing if he went and killed that person, but he was actually greatly defeated, tarnishing my clan's reputation. Yu Yu's voice was ice cold. Earlier, he told the clansmen that the clan was currently in troubled times, and that they shouldn't act rashly to avoid bringing them more inconveniences. In the end, this type of thing actually happened. Only, with Yu Yu now taking action, how could there not be people following him? After all, him and Yun-11 were too special, merging with Heaven's mandate stones. They were where the hope of the clan laid. Once news went out, Goddess Academy erupted into commotion. The number one youth of the Celestial clan was going to move, paying Supreme Being Dao Right a visit to challenge Great Senior Brother. Not only that, but the other heroes of the Celestial clan took action as well, moving out together towards that shoddy mountain gate. The effects of this were too great. What kind of person was Yu Yu? He was an exceptional talent, and then he merged with the Heaven's Mandate Stone. He even had the blood of an emperor race flowing within him. This was enough for him to suppress all of his peers. Major news, Yu Yu is going to take action, leaving to suppress and kill Great Senior Brother. This was huge news, like a storm that swept through all of Goddess Academy. This wasn't all of it. A few students immediately used transport formations to report to their own families that this level of young supreme beings were going to fight, that this was definitely a fight worth watching. This was especially the case with a few larger clans. With the Battle of 3,000 provinces about to start, they definitely wanted to learn more about the outstanding individuals who were going to fight over the natural luck. Normally, where would they get such an opportunity? It was clear that there would be exceptional talents who would come here, as well as other young supreme beings arriving. They were going to witness this battle for themselves. Celestial clan in Fire Province will likely receive the news as well. I wonder what kind of reaction they will show. Someone said softly. Unbeknownst to them, that side was currently returning, bringing the storm to Goddess Academy. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.